Have you played this Precon yet? If you haven't, this is a must-have right now. If you can go and find it, Best Buy, at least at the filming of this video, you can find these at some of them for like 30 bucks. Total huge value. This is the Elemental Precon from Lauren Eclipse this year. If you're new here, my name is Eric. I go by Sobermtg. I'm just a sober dude. I used to do alcohol and cocaine. Stopped doing alcohol and cocaine back 7/25/17, and now I do cardboard crack instead. Actually, this is just a hobby that I really enjoy, and I enjoy sharing it with you. If you haven't played against this deck is solid, and this deck is strong. This deck is from the first set that was released here in 2026, and Lauren had two decks that they released. Both, I think, were phenomenal decks. This right here, right out of the box, is a strong-ass deck. And I don't know if you played against this deck, but you are literally casting elementals for a lot cheaper than what you should be. The speed of the deck, though, the one thing about this is that it's slow. This deck, I think, and they probably did this on purpose, I would assume they did this on purpose, is because you have so many lands in here, though, that are coming into play tapped, it almost sets you like a turn or two behind. So the one thing I love about this deck is, one, it's powerful right out of the box. Right out of the box, it's a strong, solid deck. But you don't actually, if you want to upgrade this and really have it as a competitive deck, it's not CDH style deck, by the way, but very competitive, good, strong bracket 3. You can bracket 4 this deck if you want to, even 2 almost. But when it comes to at least a strong, solid deck, the biggest change, all you have to do are literally the lands. Go through the lands, you're pulling out everything that's coming into play essentially tapped. For me, I switched them all out with fetch lands. I switched them out with pain lands and any lands that I could that are coming to play not tapped, so I have access to my mana right away, versus feeling like I'm one turn behind everybody. And especially if somebody knows what this deck is and your lands are starting to come into play tapped and you are falling behind them, you make yourself a really good target. Because this is one of those decks that does snowball itself very quickly. As soon as you can start casting stuff, this deck will snowball. So it does make you an easy target in the very beginning, especially if you're playing against some lesser powered decks, even bracket 3 style. So if you do swap out the lands, fetch lands, making sure that the lands are lands that can also be fetched, so you have multiple ways to start getting your land base out. Those little things alone make this deck tremendously powerful. And if you've ever played against this deck, I mean, comment down below. This was one of those decks that when I first saw it, like the one thing I think that scares me off, like a lot of people, and it's just the style of play that I do. I mean, I play kitchen table Magic, by the way. It's not like I'm super competitive looking at all these details per se. The one thing I do look at is I'm like, dude, it's a 5-color deck. Like 5-color decks are difficult. Like let alone a 3-color deck, a 5-color deck is difficult. But this is one of those 5-color decks that actually isn't as difficult as it may seem. And that's one of the things that I think is kind of that sleeping beauty with this deck. And I mean, if you've played this deck, you know there are some great elemental cards out there, though, from other sets that you can definitely upgrade into this deck. And you can make this deck almost as powerful as you want it to be. The one thing I will say that I love with Precons is I play with a lot of Precons, but I edit every Precon because I don't want them to all play the same. If you ever play a deck out of the box, it's going to constantly kind of play the same after a while. So I do like to make changes. I try to change at least 10 cards out of each deck just to make it a little bit unique. I'm curious of what you do with your Precons, though. If you leave them, do you leave them standard or do you change them out? One of those weird things I do is I take all my lands and I make them full art foil lands, or at least full art lands. That's one of my weird things. But I am curious, what have you changed out of this deck? And if you played against this deck, is it more powerful than what you thought it was? Because for me, it definitely was. I think this is a great value out there. And that's part of what it's all about, is trying to keep Magic as fun and affordable as possible. Because there's a lot of ways Magic is getting very highly priced. It's expensive, it's exhausting. And one of the things is not getting caught in the FOMO. Because even when these decks came out, they're 50, 60 bucks. This deck you can buy now for 30 bucks. If you wait 2 months to 3 months after sets come out, and go back and buy those, and you don't keep up with the current sets, and you go back and you keep up with older sets, you're paying so much less money for so much better value, and it all makes more sense. And that is one of the things that I really focus on, is what do you do to keep Magic fun and affordable? That's what I do. And I'm curious of what you do. Again, comment down below if you like content like this. Hit the like and follow button. I'd love to know what you edited into your deck. And if you've missed out on this deck, this is a sign to go grab it if you can right now, because at like 30, 40 bucks, definitely worth it.